we have some unbelievable panelists who's going to share their knowledge and wisdom here today.
So one of my Alabama or what I love to do is
take one or two things from this event where you can utilize in your business to make 2025 the most successful.
The reality is that everything in your Instagram was only your past clients and your sphere of influence and no realtors.
Shout out Pat's platform. It's called the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Everybody should subscribe to him on YouTube, follow him on Instagram and Facebook.
And I guarantee one thing, that you will not regret being here.
And people don't remember what you did, they don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. So you create an experience that makes people feel.
to challenge everybody to answer every single phone call that comes in, whether the number is stored in your phone or it's not. Instead of the database or the data bank.
I have to say to everybody, you're not going to lose your job to AI. You will lose to the person who uses AI better than you.
It was a bad idea because once I was all done with everything, again, I didn't have any clients. My back was against the wall, so I said I need to get clients. Because that's why if they're going to leave your inbox, if you can't have that conversation, you're going to come to mine because Tiana rolling at MLS at 5 a.m.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. For this show, we're going to take you to the Real Estate Symposium. At the symposium, we have some of the top real estate agents in the country talk about navigating 2025 real estate market. We're going to talk about affordability. We're going to talk about out-of-the-box ideas to gain more business. And, of course, mindset. So, buckle up. Here we go. Real Estate Symposium 2025.
Okay, we're going to jump right into this, okay? And once again, we're going to talk about affordability. Affordability is a major issue nationwide, 2024. There were affordability issues, and we want to see what do you think is going to happen in 2025. Are we going to still have affordability issues? And how do you manage buyers and sellers' expectations when it comes to these issues? Because I have people all the time talking about, hey, I'm pre-approved for $200,000, but they're looking at a $250,000 neighborhood. It's an issue, and I'm sure everybody here knows what that's like. So we're going to start things off with, how do we start off with Ed Rogers? Ed, what do you think about the affordability issues? What are you seeing in 2025? If that's going to get any better, just generic thoughts.
So affordability, I think in 2020 affordability is going to be very difficult as 2025 continues to progress. Main reason is the interest rate objections that we're dealing with, that we talk about all the time. I think as interest rates stay where they are and housing prices continue to go up, the average first-time home buyer has a really hard time to understand what they can and cannot afford. The benefit of what Pat does, not to give them a plug here, is all the first-time homebuyer grants and loans that are available that truly help the buyers become able to afford to buy their first home. But they're still dealing with higher interest rates, higher sales prices, which is an ongoing monthly cost, which essentially just makes affordability almost unrealistic to a lot of these first-time homebuyers.
And then dealing with sellers' expectations and buyers' expectations, like I mentioned, hey, they could be thinking they want to be in the $250,000 neighborhood, but their debt-to-income ratio is saying 200. How are you bridging that gap, or is there a bridge the gap?
I think it's very difficult when they have an expectation to live in a specific neighborhood, a specific zip code, and the harsh reality says that they cannot actually live there. I think it's something that we're always going to try to battle and overcome, but we have to have really realistic conversations with buyers and help them understand where they can live and what they can afford.
Okay, great. Anybody want to jump in on that?
I'll jump in.
Eli, go ahead.
I think that in 2024, the main challenges have been affordability, high credit rates, and also low supply. And we'll continue in 2025 also, probably even 2026, the way it is going. But I think that for us, as agents, it's not whether we have to wait for the market to get better or rates to go down. I think what we need to do is that we need to start educating clients, our home buyers, for alternative financing, for example, taking advantage of the buy-down assistance like the TPK, current the key program that's available, and grants are available for them to help them with the closing costs as well. And also just the buy-down of the rate programs that are available too. I think that's the smartest. And In my opinion, right now, the agents that are going to win this market are going to be the agents that you would say not the best salesperson, but the best educator that's going to help their clients and introduce them to what's available out there.
And that's a really good point. Anybody else want to jump in?
Yes, I'd like to add to that. Again, thank you, Pat, for inviting me here. This is a wonderful panel. As far as the home buyer process, especially when we're talking about 24 to 34-year-olds, lots of student loans. Like I hear about it all the time. And so making sure that it's more of a preparation journey. It's not just, okay, today I'm ready to purchase a home. How do I get started? It's really about educating them far long before they're even ready to purchase a home so that they understand income. They understand that, yes, I may qualify for grants, but also can I afford a home as far as the mortgage every month. So it's really about education and advocacy long before they're ready to say, I'm purchasing a home, which I think is different from previous generations. They just saved up their money and purchased a home and were able to afford it, whereas now we need to prepare them 1, 2, 3 years in advance. So going to the high schools and making sure that they understand their options there.
Pat, I think all this gives a massive opportunity for everyone to create something that's really valuable. The best realtors provide massive value. And back in, let's say, 21 and the craziness of the market, we were just opening doors and selling houses. Right now, you have an opportunity, just like everyone said. So imagine a world where you hold a home buyer happy hour, or you have an educational series that you have. Every agent in here needs to be creating conversations every day that provides value. So everything you're hearing up here is all stuff you need to translate into conversations you have with people you don't know as well.
I'll jump in. Thank you guys for hearing. We're excited. Just to piggyback off of Eli as well, and also Tiana, on top of the education, it's also leveraging our resources, right? Making those connections, like you said, with networking, but also using the people around us, our lenders, our housing partners that everything just staying on top of that we could best educate them as well.
Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. Good morning. It's great to be here. Kudos for all you guys for making it out today. But yeah, it's a tough market. Like 2023, transactions were down 30%. Yeah, versus 2022. 2024, I thought they were going to be up, but they were down. But like what Eli said, like today, the massive opportunity, like for people in our industry now, is the opportunity to like step up and provide value. That's what happened in the financial crisis. And instead of lead gen, it's lead education. And kudos to the mortgage guys out there, because if it wasn't for like PHFA, Quato, a lot of other great lenders out there, we wouldn't have these grants and opportunities to like close deals. But I think what Bill Rushdie said, for all of us, it's so important to be on top of policy, because if we find the biggest opportunity is going to come from the state or maybe the Fed. Like we need larger first-time home buyer grants or credits, tax credits for everyone. Why is Philadelphia transfer tax so high? It cannot be capped for a certain price range. So I think for us, we got to continue to educate our consumers, but also really stay on top of this policy. I think the one good news for all of us here is slowly the why own when you can lease trend, which has been the dominant trend the last 2 years, is slowly starting to change the why lease when you can own. And then that is going to be important for us to stay on top of that, yet because there's a lot of consumers that want to pay these high prices and can buy instead.
Okay, if you guys keep on bringing up my name, I'm going to have to owe you some money or something. Okay, so we're going to jump to the next subject. And this one, Tiana, we're going to start out. Now, I have all these people on my podcast at some point in the past 2 years, and I learned some just fascinating stories of how you guys started and what have you accomplished. So Tiana, going into her 4th year, her first 2 years, she closed 1 deal each year. Last year, she closed 17 deals. So she went 1 first year, 1 second year, and 17. So I wanted her to be on here because not everybody can identify with maybe an Ed who has 100 agents, Chris has a big team, Eli has a big team, that kind of thing. So this is somebody on the ground floor, went from 2 deals in 2 years to 17. So tell me, how did you do that?
Hey.
I want to know, how did you do that?
First, actually Pat invited me while I was at work, so I was also a full-time teacher as well. I'm in 2024 until October. And so he said, Tiana, when I call you, I always hear your son in the background. My son is 6. I said, Pat, that's not my son. I said, that's my students, like I'm a teacher. He said, what? You're a teacher? Opposed to 17 years, you're a teacher. I'm a solo agent at Keller Williams. And so really, it's about education. My background is education. I had my degree from. How can I use what I already do, like who I am as a person, and really provide value to home buyers? And so I just leveraged that, and I leveraged social media. I said, okay, I'm working all day. I have my 6-year-old son. How can I talk to 10 people a day, 100 people while I'm at work all day? And social media really became the place that I was able to do that. But most importantly, because social media is one thing, but I could put out content every single day and never have a follow-up, never have a phone call, right? So it was really about creating a system, and I was able to build out a system to do that and make it work for me. But a lot of it really is just the tasks that you're supposed to do every day. I do those every day. But yes, I post on social media, but I also make calls to my CRM. And I also went to networking events. And I also showed up to the office, asked my boss, hey, can I leave for an hour and have an extra half an hour with my lunch break to go to this networking event at my office? And so really putting in the footwork, but not taking away that idea of, oh, I'm full-time, I'm working, making it a negative, and saying, what can I do instead? What can I build? And I'm grateful that I've been able to do that last year with Pat as well.
Everybody throughout the thing, she wakes up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, she's on the MLS, and she started, and then boom, the second after school, she's on it again as well. So it was a lot of hard work. Okay, open up for the panel, new agent success. What do you see some of your agents doing that is causing them to have great success? Anybody?
I'll go. I mean, it's one word: consistency. You could choose for sale by owners, expireds, internet leads, sphere of influence, whatever it is you do, you just got to do it consistently. And I see now, even like all of us have cell phones in our hands. We're going to talk about it in a second on the mindset question, but we're so distracted right now, and we're so disoriented. We're squirrels. All you got to do is pick 1, 2, or 3 things, but then you do them consistently every single day. And it's really, success is actually boring. It's not exciting.
I'm seeing really 3 things that are working for our team, for our agents. And the first one is basically mastering the basics, right? Talking about the consistency and the focus that Sky was mentioning is that the agents that are actually making the calls, they are doing the follow-up, it's very important, and going on appointments, this is what I mean by the basics, are winning in today's market. The second, I would say, just being able to move fast and take action. Agents who are waiting for things to change or seasons to change, I think they're losing out to agents who are already taking actions already, right? That's what 1% everyone's panel here are doing. And lastly is leading by value, right? Echoing to everything that we've been saying about educating our clients, but more importantly, taking the time to build a relationship. And because everyone has their own timeline, and I think that's super important that agents understand that. And with our team, those are the agents that are implementing at least one of those, but if they do all 3, they've succeeded at a high level.
As most of you guys know, I'm a real estate broker, so my position might be a little bit different than an agent perspective. So for our company, in the beginning of January, I agree with Eli, we went back to the basics of lead generation, where everyone is trying to do things that truly just don't produce leads, right? So we have a saying in the office that education creates conversations, conversations create transactions. So for us in January, we focus on, let's get back to the basics. Let's focus on what is really simple to do, but everybody forgets to do. And then in February, we rolled out an accountability partnership internally for our company. So about 40% of our agents are participating in it, which is, for us, we have about 100 agents, so there's about 40 agents participating. And what we did was we paired up agents with agents that they don't typically talk to hold each other accountable. And inside of that accountability program, we created a schedule, a Monday through Saturday schedule of every Monday you have to do this. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, every day of the week you have to do things, and you have to keep a report on those, and your accountability partner will push you to make sure that you're staying on top of it. And internally inside that, we talk about if you have an appointment, like Eli said, we're fast acting. The top 1% are very fast. So if you have an appointment with me to talk about something that is not going to create a lead for you or create $1 in your pocket, you cancel my appointment and you go with that lead immediately. And you do that for everybody in your life, because at the end of the day, if you're not chasing these leads after all the work that you're putting in, what are you actually doing? So that's what we're focused on, is very basic, very get back out in front of people, hold each other accountable, and keep pushing forward. And I can guarantee that you start to reach your goals and start to become a producing agent. Like, everybody wants to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
But yeah, like everyone else said, like it's get back to basics, get pumped up, show up to the office. I think for new agents, it's very difficult right now because transactions are tight. You gotta be adding 5 prospects a day. You gotta be contacting people. And a shout out to our office, there was a pro coaching program, which is fantastic for new agents. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think it's one of the questions. It's really a mindset to really be in there. If you're like only like strong 3 days a week, that's not going to cut it. It's an opportunity for the people that step up now will have more market share down the road. And kudos, I went to her class. I took a lot of notes. Like the people that are like in it, and like what Sky said too, it's not just content, it's consistency.
Okay, so we're going to go to the next question. And this is out-of-the-box activities for real estate success. I met this agent at a settlement. She was representing the seller, and she told me that she started out, and still does, door knocking. Once I heard that, I freaked out. She probably thought I was absolutely crazy. I'm like, oh my God, I never knew somebody actually did that. So I said, you gotta come on the podcast. And I wanted her to be on the panel. Once again, newer agent, from day one, started knocking on doors. Within 60 days, had 2 listings. So tell us your little bit of story, and then you can jump in at the panel on what some of your agents are doing. That could be a little bit out of the box. Go ahead, Renee.
Yes, oftentimes door knocking does seem out of the box for most agents for a multitude of reasons. However, when I began to door knock, it was simply because I was a mother straight out of real estate school, and I didn't have any clients. I didn't tell anyone I was going to real estate school because I just wanted to focus, and it was a bad idea because once I was all done with everything, again, I didn't have any clients. So I was at my brokerage KW, and I listened to Mike McKeon. He talked about how he went door to door selling vacuums in the 80s. And I was like, door to door, okay. And again, my back was against the wall, so I said I need to get clients. So I, at the time, picked up my 7-year-old and my 6-month-old baby, and we would drive through the neighborhood. I would park in the middle of the block. They were safe, but I would let my 7-year-old know, you're going to see me go up this side and that side. I'm just going to knock on these doors. And yes, I got my first 2 listings. So most agents are normally buyer heavy. I started off listing heavy because it began to snowball and people saw on social media that I was selling homes. So, yes.
And she would go through the neighborhood, and it was the same neighborhood, and she would represent herself as the expert of that neighborhood. Hey, the library is doing such and such on this day. This is going on this day. The trades happen on such and such day. So she represented herself as the expert of that neighborhood. Oh, and by the way, you're selling, right?
Yep, and I also did summer camp in the neighborhood. I did a free book bag drive for the children of the summer camp. I rallied up a few of the agents, and some of you may be here that may have donated, but people donated, and I was able to give out free book bags in the summertime. So door knocking creates opportunities, and I believe all of you will agree, just staying in front of people and putting a space to win is what will help be successful.
Okay. Anybody else can jump in?
I'll give two suggestions. One is it's an application. If you have an iPhone, it's called the Reach app. If you go onto the App Store and download the Reach app. My theory right now is that email is a dead medium as far as creating leads and conversations. I bet everyone in this audience gets hundreds of emails a day. Your clients are getting hundreds of emails. If you're sending marketing emails, there's a good chance it's going to junk folders and promotions. But text messages are not. Text is, we actually can create a high level of conversation via text message. But the challenge, raise your hand if you ever copied and pasted a text to like your past clients. This Reach app actually allows you to create one message, and you can create groups, and then that message will go out individually through your iPhone, through your iMessage. It's not like a third party number. And you can edit and adjust each message individually. So you could send 100 text messages in 15 minutes, and they're all really personal. And you can create groups of people, open house leads, sphere of influence, past clients, anything like that. So if you're not using that Reach app, it's a really incredible way to create conversation. And you don't want to overdo it with your sphere, but again, it's one of those things that'll save you massive levels of time. The second thing, there's a great book called Unreasonable Hospitality. I challenge every realtor in this room to think of what you do that's ordinary and how can I make it extraordinary. So if you're just showing houses, every realtor shows houses. But what can I do to take that experience of showing a house and make it extraordinary? Bottles of water, coloring books for the kids, whatever it might be, and challenge yourself to really dive into the ordinary things we do. And then what can I do that actually elevates it up? You said an open house, just bring a little thing of Toll House cookies, bake them. You don't even need to serve the cookies. It's the smell of walking in a home with a fresh baked cookies, right? You could literally throw them out. Just bake them and throw them out. But that smell is creating an experience. And people don't remember what you did. They don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. So if you create an experience that makes people feel a certain way, they're going to remember you.
Right. Chris, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think like for me, like today, that was like I nudged Ed. Yeah, I just put a property under contract while I'm here. And that was from just being involved in the community. So I got involved in the NLNA, Northern Members Neighborhood Association, past, and I think I've been like a little lazy since COVID. And these are things, that I can get back into, but all of us can get back into as well. So the listening came from someone that I met there. These are like long-term ways to increase this. And from there, I hosted the open house. I think they just should do that. I got the buyer. Is that buyer, seller for $800,000 type home in Northern Liberties.
I have a mortgage.
Yeah, works. But I think there's all sorts of things that people can do. I love kudos on the door knocking. I think the Expire, the FISBOs, the database, I think, or sign up with Sky, get a coach if you need to for accountability or structure. But I think the important thing is once you're starting to have success with something, just keep doing it. Double down, triple down, because everyone's going to do something like a little bit better with one of those things. And maybe some of the others not, it just might not be for you. But for all of us, including myself and my team, the importance of just being involved, and I think the community involvement is huge. And then also what Sky said, like the biggest challenge I think people have is once you have a closing and a settlement, you provide that experience in the process, but stay in contact with people afterwards. Like I've got a lot of listings over the years where they didn't go back to the buyer's agent. And I even asked them why. They didn't even remember the name. So there's a great opportunity. Once you have someone in your database, maybe give yourself a reminder. A year later, just check in how they're doing, send a gift, do something to stand out above the crowd.
Yeah, and just a real quick stat, and be like and go. I think it's something like 27% of buyers and sellers go back to their agent. So there's a huge disconnect there. Even though they said they...
I think there's a high percentage of people that say they'll work for the same agent again. It's the 80s, 90s, and only 20%, 27%.
Correct, exactly.
But I think when I look at this, the reality is you could be successful doing any of these. However, where you were talking about focus, but where I see a lot of agents making mistakes is that they're trying to do all of these at the same time. Where you could probably do over $1 million GCI just door knocking. If only you did that thing by being the best at it and creating an experience. So that's the main thing that I try to drive home with our agents here and the teams, because the goal here is not to do everything, but to do the things that do work and be really great at them. To generate business in sales, there's only two ways that you could do it, which is one-to-one, where you're having conversations with people through text, phone call, at open house. One-to-many, this is where you can actually utilize email marketing. It's a big format because you literally do a lot of business through email marketing as well, through a database. And the other is generating content, creating content that's educational for consumers. Instead of chasing them, you are actually organically bringing them to you. So they're coming to you, right? You're attracting them. The other thing that for the next step to that would be to start paid ads. This is where I've probably spent a lot of time as well understanding how to create systems and process and funnels to generate more business and more opportunities for our team. In fact, I think right now, today, we have more opportunities, more abundance than we ever did. And less transaction, but there's a lot of people out there that are looking to buy and sell homes. What are you doing to get in front of those people? It's not whether it's the right time to buy or sell. It's whether are you the right person to walk into the process. And lastly, the next stage of creating a kind of completing that cycle of generating more business for your real estate business would be the affiliate partnership, your referrals, right? Are you doing a really good job? And Simon mentioned the book by the Go-Giver. Are you creating an experience that people are going to refer their clients to you? That's what it's about. Are you creating an experience or creating partnership with lenders, attorneys, CPAs, institutional referral partners like Rocket Homes or Zillow? In general, I think these are really great opportunities for people. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to go. Someone wants to go before me? No? So one of my out of the box items that I love to do is to challenge everybody to answer every single phone call that comes in, whether the number is stored in your phone or it's not. We're spending so much time on marketing, we're putting our cell phones out there, but we're scared to physically answer a phone unless we know who's calling. So I challenge you to answer that phone call every single time. No offense to the virtual assistant company, but if you realize it's a virtual assistant cold calling you, just hang up the phone. If it has nothing to do with your business, hang up the phone and move on. The other thing I challenge is to answer every single text message, every single email, every single DM that comes in every single day. My wife is here. She hates me because I sit in bed and I answer people. She's got her head down right now. She's nervous. But I challenge you to do that. We're spending so much time putting our information out there, but we're not responding to people fast enough. If we're living in a world, Bruno and Stacey are AI, and the things are happening so fast, we need instant gratification, but we're not giving it back to the people that are trying to contact us. So that's one thing that I do every single day. It's out of the box, is answer everything that comes in every single day, and I can guarantee that you start to do more business every single month, every single year.
Hey, I just want to add this one out of the box thing does not necessarily client-based things, but just for myself, definitely helped me multiply my business. And that's, Pat mentioned it a little bit, but I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and I go into MLS. And the reason why I do that is because I need to educate myself. Because if I'm not educating myself, when I put out content on social media and newsletters, what have you, all I'm doing is baiting the lead, right? I'm telling them, oh, I have this information, but if I don't have the robust information on the back end and the education for myself, if I don't understand South Philly, West Philly, 1913, if I don't understand it from the MLS and market perspective, I'm saying, oh, look at me, I have some information for you, but now I can't follow through with you. I can't get you to the closing table in 60 days if I don't understand the market. So something I challenge all of us to do. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m., but I challenge you to take 5 minutes and look at the MLS, look at the zip codes, see what's selling, see how much you can get for $350,000 of fish count, because then it creates conversations. Someone can DM me from a post that I made or a reel that I made, but now what am I talking about? Because guess what? If they're going to leave your inbox, if you can't have that conversation, they're going to come to mine because Tiana ruined it. So things like that, consistency, that hard work that like we're all talking about, those tasks, I encourage us to do that and challenge us to do that as well.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're going to jump to the next subject. Eli, why don't you start us up with this? Technology, automation. You're big with social media and technology and everything. You have your own marketing team.
Absolutely. I have to say to everybody, you're not going to lose your job to AI, but
Easy, Bruno.
There's a punt there. You will lose to the person who uses AI better than you. So I think that AI today for us, and being able to utilize it to actually be more efficient and have more speed to the things when it comes to executing, responding to leads. In fact, we're able to do more work with less people, which is great in the operation side of it. And obviously for social media, it's like where the attentions are. So making sure that you are in consistent basis, posting educational pieces and making sure that you are reaching out to the consumers directly, that you're able to speak with them where they are in the process, I think is super important. Obviously, my marketing person, manager here, Antonia, and she does a really good job utilizing Canvas for one of the things we've been doing this year is we've been doubling down in our buyer and seller webinars and workshops. So we've been using Canvas, our social media ads and tracking those people, and for the presentations. We've been having lots of success doing that. And then the CRM guys, just like how you have a phone right now next to you, if you don't have CRM, you don't have a business. And by the end of the day, CRM is going to help you manage your clients, but you still have to meet them in person. You still have closing still happen in person. So don't forget that as great as having the best technology is, and we have some of the best technology out there, if you're not doing the work yourself and you're not meeting people in person, it's not going to happen. So.
Anybody else want to jump in?
I'll jump in real quick. I think the most important part is the CRM. Like Eli mentioned, the KW kind of like education, instead of the database, call it the data bank. And from there, that's your ability to push out your cool social media. With me over the years, I've always tried to be ahead in video. People are catching up. If you have a nice listing, don't just do professional photos. Do a video or do video testimonials with clients or a settlement. I have my photographer. I don't know if he's still here, but I'll give Chris Rivera a shout out. The best photographers and video guys in the city. And then obviously, if you want, we need to step up our game with AI. But obviously, we have AI people in our community right there, Bruno and Stacy. Yeah, we all need to sign up for their class. I need to sign up for their class. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to get there. But again, this is the opportunity. It all starts with the database. And then I think with us, you guys are doing a great job. Yeah, there's opportunities to do stories, videos every day. We just have to do it, educate people, and get in front of the potential buyer and seller.
I'll go. And I love database. If Eli knows me well, Chris knows me well. I built my entire business, so most of my coaching is built around how do you actually take a database and create deep relationships. But I'm actually going to give everyone something around social media that a lot of us in this room, myself included, struggle with posting and reels and putting content out there. But I'm actually going to challenge everyone in this room to really right now reverse your mindset around social media. And social media is actually the greatest tool that's ever been created to create connections with people. And I call this concept reversing social media. And I'll give you a really quick tactic you can do. So if anyone is on their phone now, which I know a bunch of you are, pull out your phone, go to Instagram, and in the upper left-hand corner, click the word Instagram, and down pops favorites and following. And in Instagram, you can put 50 favorites. Unfortunately for us in this room, we usually just follow realtors all day. And that really creates this comparison mindset and this mindset of I'm not doing enough, I'm not posting enough, I'm not good enough. The reality is if everything in your Instagram was only your past clients and your sphere of influence and no realtors, you'd actually do a tremendous amount of business from Instagram. So go into Instagram and in your favorites, only load up 50 of your best referral sources, past clients, and rather than go into your feed and doom scroll, just go into your favorites and start interacting with people. And if you struggle with posting stuff, posting reels and videos, don't do it and just use Instagram as this tool for creating really great communication, not with realtors, but with your clients.
Okay, let's jump to the next subject because I want to touch on team building. Okay, Chris, we're going to start off with you with team building because you had your team for years and years, and a lot of people on your team been with you for like 20 years. So start us off because there may be people out here that may be thinking about building a team themselves. What are the most important things? Vision, goals, all that kind of stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, that answer can go on for a long time, but I think it starts with leadership. It starts with leading by example. It starts with culture. I try not to have too many in-person team meetings per month. But I had some coaching suggestions. We really focus on our 1 a month team meeting. We have high attendance. I've had some recruits come to those meetings, and I'm batting 100% for those recruits joining the team because that's when people could really see the energy and the collaboration. For retention, I think collaboration, working together, providing opportunities for people in the team. We have a lot of partnerships with Zillow and Levoto and whatnot for prospects to come in, and then providing the systems and processes and really the resources to where the team people can benefit. I want them to focus on clients and sales and not anything else. And I think when you have that culture, it really helps. I think in 2024, our agent count went from 20 to 28. It was 40% production followed with that. But the key is just to stay consistent with that culture. In fact, from today, I have our monthly TV later this afternoon, which you'll be at.
I'll be there.
Be a quick minute. And you could go into many other facets of that, but for other team leaders or aspiring team leaders or people that are on a team, there's a lot of opportunities there. And kudos to the solo agents along the way. There's really no right or wrong. It's just what works for you. I never had intentions of growing the team to this size. It just worked out that way. And that's okay. I think with life and in business, just again, if something's working, keep doing it. If something's not working, pull back, just reassess and continue to move forward.
Eli, you have a pretty big team. Do you want to chime in?
Yeah, I think that for teams, as a leader, I think the entire team has to buy into the vision. and it has to buy into accountability as well. So those are the two areas where I tend to focus the most. What makes it a really great culture is it's not the culture you have now, it's the culture that you strive to be. And being able to attract talented people who are coming and raising the standard of your culture or the team, I think is super important. That's how we can all learn together. And as far as attracting or how we're bringing in agents, what are the things we look for would be that we really look for agents who are driven and are hungry and want to grow. Because we can teach you skills, so we can teach you real estate, but what I can't teach is hustle and hunger. So we look for agents that have the right character. We look for agents who want to grow, and we're looking for agents that are coachable and that fit with our core values and culture that we're looking for and align with our mission. As far as what we do, I think I'm a little bit different than Chris because we tend to have we spend more time together in the office. And by the way, that changes, that adapts with the culture as well. We have team daily huddle every day, Monday to Friday, that's virtual. So that's basically how we set our day and our mindset. We have weekly team meetings every week, every Tuesday. And from there's the training once a week and there's coaching once a week for the group. So it's more immersive. And I thought that for me, it's that to be able to have structure for agents, I think it's very important because just having the right strategy is not enough. I think that you also need to have the right intention and be in the right environment that makes it easier for you to succeed as an agent. And it doesn't get better than having a teammate next to you that it's a little bit of competition, but also it's rooting for you and holding you accountable to show up the best you can every day.
Okay, anybody else want to jump in?
I can jump in. I ran a very large team in Philadelphia, did some deals with you guys on the stage. And as I coach people, the best thing for anyone that either runs a team or is thinking of joining a team, the first thing you need to do is to figure out your why. And there's 3 words that are the most powerful words for figuring out your why. It's time, money, and emotion. Most people who form a team are forming a team because of the fact they want either more time, more money, or more emotion. They want to feel good about what they're running. And the downfall for most team leaders is you try to achieve all 3 and you make all 3 a priority. The reality is only one can be a priority at any given time in your team leader journey. And you have to figure out what it is. So if it's time, then you got to dial in on that why. If it's money, emotion, etc. But there's no right or wrong teams. And the other biggest thing is never compare yourself to other teams. Every single person up here runs a very successful team and do it very differently. Don't compare, figure out your why, your authenticity, your power, and then align behind that. Learn from each person, but don't compare.
Anybody else want to jump in? Ed, you have over 100 agents.
I love talking for the record. So my vision and goal as the owner of the company has remained the same from the beginning, and it was always to help agents make the most amount of money as possible while also setting goals and achieving the individual goals that they set, which sometimes is very hard to do because sometimes agents want to set unrealistic goals. And I think it's because they think how real estate is so simple and so easy. And once they get into the business, they realize it's very difficult. Door knocking, I commend you. I would have never done it. So give her a round of applause for that. I'll never do that. But one of our goals is to, like I talked about earlier, is helping create a schedule for agents. And like Eli said, there's a million things that you can do and cannot do. And each agent can do things a lot better than other agents. So it's identifying what are you really good at. And once you can identify that, and you're pushed to achieve that by people around you inside your brokerage, then you naturally start to hit your goals and start to create more transactions and keep more money. So we try to identify what are the agent's strengths and then sucking that out of them and then pushing them towards those goals to hit those goals, essentially.
They're going to have to do the jump themselves, right? Because you can show them the way, but if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. But I think that the biggest thing that I'm hearing for everyone here is really just creating an environment that for people to succeed, right? Guiding them, showing mentorship, coaching them, At the end of the day, they want to be part of an organization because they do want to make more money, right? They see that as an opportunity. They also, a lot of people want time back, right, Sai? A lot of people want time back. And if you're part of the brokerage or team, you get that. With the support that you get, you're getting a lot of time back, so you can spend on the things that are important to you and your family. And let's not forget about being able to build your brand. That's a big one. If you're not building your brand, you're missing out on so many opportunities. But what about having a network? And there's a lot of teams here in brokerages that has a network for agents to learn and grow and be part of rooms like this, right? Where you can take one or two nuggets and start implementing and executing your business. So I think that's something that I wanted to make sure that I advocate for everyone to how important it is.
I'd like to say one more thing. For Sky, like he says, don't compare yourself to others. Like I believe comparison is the thief of joy. So if you're a teacher comparing your real estate journey to mine, you're going to be deflated as an agent. You're never going to be able to achieve the goals that I achieve if I'm full-time and you're part-time. If you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and understanding the market and I'm not doing that, how can I compare myself with you when you understand the data, you understand the marketplace? So stop comparing yourself to others and just set your own goals that are realistic for what you think and what you can actually achieve. And don't look at anybody else. Just have laser focused vision and just go directly towards that.
Okay, so we're going to jump to our last subject or question here, mindset. And Sky, since you're Mr. Mindset here, we're going to start off with you. And how can changing your mindset accelerate your real estate business? And how do you prioritize your personal well-being and achieving professional success? And how do you set boundaries? So tackle any of that.
I'll try to tackle all three really quickly, but the first thing everyone in this room needs to understand is that there's only one thing that we have as realtors, and that is our time and our energy. And energy is everything. Energy is everything. So how you show up to your business and your life every single day is so incredibly critical. And if you're not working on your mindset, and this is a concept that I call being healthy selfish, if you guys aren't being selfish about your health, you're really missing the whole point of this real estate game. Because at the end of the day, no matter if you make a lot of money, but you're getting divorced, if you're not paying your bills, if you're unhealthy, you're drinking, you're overweight, whatever it might be, it's just not all working. So you have to identify what is it that's going to make me happy in my life, and then how do I go after it? And you have to understand that energy is everything. And then one of the easiest things we can do to improve our business is actually improve our life. And then as far as the other questions on this board is actually, does everyone realize that there's this thing that we have in your life right now that it's designed to make you unhappy? And that's your cell phone. Your cell phone right now, this device, was not designed to make you happy. This device was designed to distract you. It was designed to make you compare yourself to others. It was designed to make you feel like you're not enough. Do you guys realize that there's a reason they have notifications and pop-ups and red lights and buzzing and beeps and everything like that? Because your brain, A, creates dopamine when you answer a text. But here's the bad thing. There's more texts coming in all the time. And the reality for all of us in this room, there's people in this room that have diagnosed ADD, but the reality as a realtor, probably most of us in this room have undiagnosed traits of ADD. And as a teacher, like I was a former teacher as well, there is a difference between diagnosed and people that really do have it. But the reality is this phone is created to distract us. So if there's one thing you can do today, I'm going to challenge everyone. Most of you will not take me up on this challenge. Right now, go into your notifications. This will scare the shit out of you, by the way. Go into your notifications, and for 1 week, turn off all notifications around text, email, social media. You do not need to be notified of the 100 text messages you get. You don't need to be notified that Sky Michaels posted a reel. You don't need to be notified of all these things. You can get back to people, but do it on your time. The reality for all of us is we're spending all day and all of our energy trying to basically take care of all these other people, and we're forgetting about taking care of ourselves. And this device, which by the way, Most of you sleep with it right next to your head, and raise your hand if the first thing you do is you pick up your cell phone in the morning. Think about this from a mindset perspective, and I'll stop preaching. Think about this from a mindset perspective. Would you, if you have children, would you say to your kids, hey, the first thing I want you to do today is to be in a stressed out, overwhelmed, not enough mode? No, none of us would. But yet that's what we all do. So I challenge you, 1 week, just 1 week. You can do anything for 7 days. Today, right now, go in, turn off your notifications. You will be scared shitless today. Tomorrow, you're actually gonna feel a little lighter. And by the end of 7 days, you're not even gonna notice the fact that all of a sudden, you're walking through your day more productive, more present. You're having dinner with your kids without your cell phone going up. Even if you don't answer, your brain is in overdrive, saying, oh my God, what's in this cell phone? And you're sitting with the most important people in your world in that brief moment of time. So get really present with yourself, and that's gonna help everything in your business. So I challenge everyone, turn off your notifications for a week. Can't do it.
On mindset,
You should definitely pick up Sky on the challenge. I've done it, and it's 2 years now for me, and it's great. So it does wonders.
is that why you're not texting me back?
Yeah, that's why. The only person that goes through my notifications is my wife when she calls, so I better answer that one. But I think for mindset, what Sky was saying is that don't wake up reacting to the world. Wake up with intentions. And to me, that means that maybe the night before, just having a clear goal and plan to what you're going to do tomorrow. And just sleeping on that and waking up with energy. And it's not about just doing the one thing. To me, it's about stacking the positives. What are the positive things that you can stack? The little things, right? Maybe wake up. Don't look at the screen for 30 minutes. Don't maybe go outside right away, breathe some fresh air, look at the sky, drink water. I do that. I work out. For me, if I don't work out in the morning, it's like I know that to be able to pour my energy into the things I love, my passion, I can't pour from an empty cup. So I have to do the things that fill me with energy, and working out is one of them. Maybe meditating is for you, right? Because I'm not good at that. Or maybe it's reflecting on some of the things that bring you joy, which is your family, things in the moment. As a father, I try to do more of those, remember those moments, right? Because for a long time, I was just hustling and grinding every day, working 7 days a week, 16-hour days, but at some point it leads to burnout. So you have to be smarter about that. So you need to take priority of your health, your body, and your mindset. And you need to show up to the people around you as well. And it's such a high level energy that it can't help but want to be a better version of themselves, want to be better teammate or a spouse or a partner and whatnot. It's something that I'm passionate about, and I talk to everyone, actually some team members here in my team as well, that I probably drive them crazy because I talk about this so much, because you can't show up and be the best agent you could be, or the best leader, the best business owner, if you're not taking care of your own health, taking care of your own body, your mind, and relationships. So.
If I can add to that, something else about mindset, and I guess I'll switch it a little bit because it's not necessarily wellness related, but having this mindset of how can I fail fast? There's a mindset that I have of everyone's scared to do something, whether it's door knocking, whether it's posting on social media, whether it's making those 10 phone calls a day. But if I could fail faster at it, it's going to push me ahead of other people. And so even fell faster at working out. When I first started working out, I'm like, what is this? And my trainer gave me weights. I'm like, I just wanted to run the treadmill. But how can I go faster at lifting weights? And what I found out about doing that is if I felt faster at working out, I'm more okay with feeling faster at making those 10 phone calls a day. If I felt faster at going to Pilates or solid core, which is hard as I don't know what, then I'm more okay with or more confident in feeling faster at doing a home body workshop, right? There's a realtor out there that's scared to do a home body workshop, but that's because they're not challenging themselves every day in other areas of their lives. So when they face these challenges in real estate, they don't have the confidence to do. When I sold 17 homes last year, I didn't have a car. And so what some realtors would say is, I don't have a car, I'm working full time. No, that's a challenge, because if I can lift weights, if I can do Pilates, if I can do this, if I can do that, then I can do this. It's just I have to figure out a way. And so it's really about building systems and figuring it out. What am I scared to do? And Mike Tyson said something. He said, if I'm scared to do it, that means I have to do it. And so that's how myself. How can I fail faster than everybody else?
Who here has read the book Shift? I would get that book because there's somewhere in there, and I still think, even though the market's okay, like we're in a down market of sorts, and without mindset, there's nothing. So it's been a great conversation with that. Yeah, but in there, it talks about, we talked about a lot of action stuff here, right? Do this, do that, door knocking, cold calling, database, social media, whatnot. But you can't do that action consistently without mindset. Mindset first, action second. I think a lot of us, maybe, this is for myself, like maybe some bad habits were developed during COVID, provided the opportunity, whether it's eating or drinking or whatever. The opportunity is to really improve that. There's a good book out. There's all sorts of apps. I just started reading this book called Good Energy. If anyone's heard of that or not. But I know, like, when I'm going to the gym each week, when I'm doing other things that's going to promote my mindset, like, I'm really in it. And then when I'm not, it's not. And I think with our job, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, it's really important to schedule those things during the day. And our people, like our team, the office, I'm trying to get people in the office. Let's get in the office, let's prospect together, let's have some fun, but have that shared mindset together. And with that comes the next step. And you become who you surround yourself with. So if you're hanging out with people that might not, especially in the industry, your mindset might, you want to do your best to hang out with other people that have a shared mindset of showing up, being consistent, doing things outside the box and whatnot. And that's going to benefit you because there's all sorts of, I love that book, Atomic Habits. Like if you can switch bad habits over here to good habits over here in 60 or 90 days, your business in your personal life will go up exponentially. And I think we all have that ability. No one's perfect. You might go through ups and downs in our life, but if we gotta remember to do those things, that's really gonna help A, our mindset, and B, action, whether it's balance with family or just more business, whatever your goals are for that.
Now that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe. Super important. I have great guests coming on all the time, great content. Subscribe and give me some likes. It really helps the algorithm out. Also, leave a comment. Tell me some show topics you'd like me to cover in the future. And of course, if there's anything you liked or didn't like, be sure to leave the comment. Super important. We do look at them all. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.